Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to episode 37 of Europa Universalis 4 as the Iroquois. We're basically just trying to play this campaign and power through to the end so we get it finished up before Mandate of Heaven comes out. Unfortunately there's not really an awful lot we can do because there aren't really many people that we can pounce upon. However, what I'm going to try and do, as someone has suggested, it might be nice if we could attack England, maybe get some of the 13 colonies for ourselves. Now, they do have a number of troops in there somewhere. The problem is, if I attack the 13 colonies, that's also going to bring in Newfoundland and also England or Great Britain themselves. So, they've got 43k troops in there, which, considering their military tech is on 28, mine is on 27 though, we are actually catching up in tech. What idea groups do they have? They've got offensive and plutocratic. So they do have some military ideas. We might be able to do something. We can pick up another idea group, but I don't know what we want to pick up right now. I do want to try and sort of get somewhere in terms of score. So I want to try and make sure we keep teching up. We are ahead of time on Diplo. We're still a little bit behind on military. We do have a Diplo idea group, which is exploration ideas, which isn't all that useful right now. But we will hang on to that. We are still colonizing, because colonizing is allowing us to... Oh, they've actually joined... Spanish Louisiana and French Mexico are joining up, which is fine, because they are going to be on my side. We have another colony. Which one was that one? Was it this one? It was indeed. So that's the one we are calling. Now then, any of these that we want to grab, are any of these worth anything? You, 3, 3, 3. Yeah, nothing's worth a particularly high amount of development. We've got a 4 up there. There's a 7. Let's go and get 7 more development. So... yeah, I'm not too bothered about filling in these gaps. There is a bit of border gore, but you'll just have to deal with it. Ontario's getting there. After Ontario, that's a 4, 3. Yeah, a lot of them are quite low. There's a 6 there, but we're not connected to that. What about here? A 5 and a 6. So we probably want to go and get Pennacook next. So that will be fine. We do have some money, not a huge amount. I think I'm going to save that. So Newfoundland's probably got about 26,000 troops or more. There are a few British troops wandering around as well. I'm guessing Portugal do not want to be... Oh, Portugal would actually ally us as well. Fantastic. Portugal is now our ally. Now we have too many relations. Why do we have too many relations? We can get another rival. We're not going to rival Portugal. What relations do we have? Creek, yes. Breton the oh, of course, it's counting our royal marriages. We have military access through French Mexico. Well, we don't need that. We can just go ahead and get rid of that, can't we? So, French Mexico and cancel military access. There we go. We were only using that to get to California. We can always pick that up again later on if we go to war, just so we can get these troops out of there. So that won't be too much of a problem. So first of all, are England actually involved in any other wars? They're not currently in a war. Now, if I were to declare a war straight up on England themselves, Russia would come in on England's side. Spain and Portugal would come in if I were to offer them land, which is quite useful. We wouldn't, however, get them to get into a war on the colonies, because I believe they'd always count it as being a distant war. Yeah, because they don't owe us any favours, they wouldn't get involved. Again, it would still bring Russia in. So yeah, what we'd basically be doing is we'd have to kind of rely... on Spain doing all of the work over in Europe, and hopefully Spanish Louisiana and French Mexico would come in, and Oregon would come in and help us over here. Newfoundland is quite large. If we go and have a look at the militaries here, let's go by name. Now then, 13 colonies is just under T, isn't it? So Newfoundland has 24,000 men. 13 colonies has 35,000 men. So, okay, we're pretty approximate in numbers. Great Britain themselves has... Where are we? Great Britain has 162,000 men. However, if we go ahead and compare that to Spain... Spain has 260,000 men. So, again, we want to make sure that Spain isn't in another war. We'd want to get all of our troops down here sort of on the front lines ready. Can we increase our force limit? Well, we can have another 4 troops. So, we can go ahead and get ourselves... guess, what do we want? More cannons? Or... I guess having more cannons in the back is not a terrible idea. We can finally take that admin tech. Let's go and get that as quick as we can. What have we got going on here? Everybody, all of the Spanish people want military access. Now, why is that? You are at war with Ferrara. Okay, that's fine. Lose some money to give the nobility loyalty. It's a lot of money. Don't think I'm going to bother. Let's go ahead and just add an extra infantry. How many infantry did I add to this group? Oh, it didn't. It was cannons, wasn't it? Can we cancel that? We want to add a cannon. We'll add a second cannon to this group and a cannon to that group. Where are we? So we want our troops because we're going to be over the force limit. We want to cancel that infantry. Right, okay. We could always get some more force limit if we wanted to. We could go ahead and build the appropriate buildings, but there isn't really a lot of point. How did we manage to go into negative admin power? That was interesting. However, that should be helping us with our score. Make it 170. Score is 172 now. Getting nothing from military rank because we're still 17th. So obviously some people have overteched on military. We are still behind though. How many military points are we currently making? Only 8. And we do have a rank 3 guy. Now, luckily, our current ruler's not bad. Our air is significantly worse, actually. I mean, we'd be losing 5 points on the air, even though the air does have a nice discipline bonus there. And I've already balanced these out, so it will take a while before we can get our tech. In fact, it's suggesting currently it's going to be August of 74, so we're still looking at 3 years before we can catch up in tech with the 13 colonies, who are now at 29, so they're now 2 techs ahead of us. Newfoundland still isn't, but that's going to make life a little bit difficult. We are losing our great power status. We're only slightly behind Ethiopia, so we might get it back. There's a possibility. But I don't really want to... I suppose we could spend some admin points, because we are ahead in admin. And we can just find somewhere that has relatively low development, because low development means it's going to be cheap development. And we've got ourselves another... let's just do some of these. We've got ourselves province of Laxacor. Now that would have been Ontario. Yep, you're done. Now one of these was like a... It was this one. So let's send you there. Keep just trying to build up these colonies. So that should now secure... Does it secure our status? Doesn't actually look like it does. We're still slightly behind Ethiopia. Just get some... Oh, lose some admin power. Or, well, we'll get the local unrest. We're not bothered about local unrest. So let's go ahead and do that. Now then, does that keep... I'm not bothered about this. It shouldn't really matter to me, but there we go. We've knocked Ethiopia back off now. Not that it makes any real difference at all. So yeah, we need Spain to be able to come in a war with us against Great Britain. Especially what would be really nice is if Great Britain got in a war with somebody else, and then we could get Spain to come in. But we're running really short of time now. There's only about 50 years left on the game. So that does make life a little bit tricky for us. We've got our reinforced speed guy here. How much money are we making? 4.85 ducats, and we're not even at full maintenance. Our army maintenance is like really, really low right now. So we're not really making any money at all. We don't have any loans. We do have some inflation. It'd be nice if we could get like an inflation reduction guy, but there is not one available, sadly. We don't need a colonial range. Oh, I can't afford the +3. The trade efficiency could be nice, but we can't really afford him, sadly, so we'll have to wait on that one. So I could go in here and just sort of try and attack, but it's a little bit sort of pointless. I just want to have a quick look at score comparison again now. So we are in 24th place with 182, catching up on the Timurids, who look like they are out of the game. So we should be able to beat the Timurids. We'll probably get in... How much are we making? 1 a month. So we'll probably get in front of Brabant, because they're not currently gaining. But we're a huge way behind Lithuania. So we're probably looking at getting up to 22nd in score. And that's about as high as we are going to get. I'd really love, though, to be able to get the next military tech before I decide to jump in over here. Our generals are also terrible, which does not help at all. Now, I don't think we're really going to have to deal with any rebellions in California. California seem to be managing well on their own. So I'm going to pull these guys out in a second. Now, one thing that I looked at the other day was this, and someone was saying, why don't I promote cultures? And, as I said, you need to have, I think it's 10%. A great advisor has died, that's not good. Yeah, it was Batman, the guy who likes to constantly correct me on everything. 100 diplomatic power. Yeah, I don't have the Diplo to do it anyway. But they keep changing it around. The development of our state cores that belong to this culture is 32, which is 6% of all. So we might be able to do some. It's not going to make a huge deal of difference. We can promote up to 6 cultures, though. I mean, we are ahead on Diplo, so yeah, yeah, we are still ahead on Diplo. Where's the cultures thing? So Huron. Now, why is there a Huron belongs to the same culture group as the Iroquois, so it gives us reduced penalties anyway. So that's probably not the most important one to upgrade. If they're already part of our culture group, they've got reduced penalties. So let's go for one that isn't. So we'll do that one. See, we've got so many different cultures that make up just such a tiny percentage. So they have changed it. It did used to be 10%. It used to require 10%. Now apparently it's down to, I think Batman said it was number of, or a set number of development. As long as there's a set development, you can do it. 20 development, there we go. You need to have at least 20 development in your states. So that's fine. So anything that's over 20 development, which really is only the Huron and Breton. They're the only two. Well, apart from the one we've already done. Gain 10 prestige or 1 base tax. We'll always take base tax. Our prestige isn't bad at the moment. It is ticking down, sadly. Lost an advisor. It's our admin guy. Production efficiency. Words. What did we have before? We must have had a +3. So, stability cost modifier is not great for us. Because we're already at +3 stability. We've lost a general, which is very unfortunate. I mean, most of the generals we've had have been terrible anyway. Right, okay, let's get you guys home. Can we get around here at all? No, we do need to get military access from you. We don't need it for long because it will put us over our limit. We only need it long enough just to nip through the other side. Of course, if we did declare a war on anybody that Spain was involved with, we'd be able to come through there anyway, so it's not too bad. So, 24th in score, up to 193. I mean, saying that, there are a fair few months left, but we'll see how we do in score. It would be nice to take some land from the 13 colonies. I'm very, very worried by their tech advantage. We've now actually lost both of our generals. We've managed to get through here, though. So let's go and cancel our military access. And let's go and speak to the nobility. Because we can get a generalship with 40 tradition anyway. So let's get a free general. Now that goes ahead and gives them a hell of a lot of influence there. We could take some land away from them. They only expect to control 17%. So let's go ahead and have a look at some land which is owned by the nobility. So this is owned by the nobility. Let's go ahead and revoke that from them. That'll make them disloyal, but that's fine. Still got 89. There must be a modifier here. 8th of February, 73. That's giving them an extra plus 10%. And another one of 83. That's quite a while. But yeah, we can still knock some more provinces off that they are currently controlling. So let's go ahead and have a look around. That's nobility. Let's go ahead and take that away from you. And that caused a revolt. Of course it did. So let's go ahead and put up the army maintenance. And we'll go and use the new general that you just gave us. It was a 1220. Is not great. Let's just go and march over here. We're not at full maintenance, so we're not going to go and jump straight in. But we do need to get over there. As you can see, being at full maintenance costs us an awful lot of money. Do we want to go and jump in over here? Well, we can't overrun them. We're probably not going to get there in time anyway, so we will let them just do that. Because it's some local autonomy, which is a bit of a pain. But we don't really want that disaster to fire if we can help it. That's probably enough given the numbers. Always a risk you do. Burghers gain loyalty. That's fine, we don't mind that. And because of that, it sort of helps to balance everything out now. Yeah, their influence is now gone down. So, we've got some penalties, but that's fine. We should definitely go ahead and put the maintenance back down, though. But at least we've got a decent general now, which is something that we really needed. Again, we're not bothered about them being unloyal. Calling a diet gives them loyalty and influence, but we don't want to give them the extra influence. So we'll have to wait on that one. And just wait. Invest in an idea. That would be a military idea. More available mercenaries, which we don't really need. We want the tech more than anything. Okay, so what's going on out in the world? Newfoundland is not at war, neither is the 13 colonies. If we go ahead and have a look over at Great Britain. Great Britain aren't in a war. Spain is still in this war against Ferrara. You selected Spain. I want to actually see what your war is. There we go. So, yeah, I was going to say, I was very surprised that that war was still going on, considering that you got a royal marriage with Austria, you are allied with Milan, Portugal. I mean, look at all this. All of this is like one... Well, maybe Austria's not involved in the alliance, but that's a lot of damage we could do against Great Britain if Spain decided they did want to get involved and help us out. Now, what would be nice is if we could actually do it and not have Russia get involved. So we could really do with Russia getting involved in somebody else's business. Now, they do have a conquest of Siberia, so Russia could get another war soon. How many men do we think Russia have? Let's go ahead and look in armies for Russia. Russia has 364,000 men. That is a lot. If Russia get involved in this war, that might actually tie Spain up so much that we couldn't really do anything. We'd certainly need to keep all of our men together here. Our navy would probably get wrecked as well. Now, you are working on a colony. We do have 2 colonies going. The other one's up there. Would we really want to bother grabbing any more of this land, or should we just come back and try and just attack Great Britain? We'll certainly wait until we've got this, at the very least. Let's just have another quick look at tech, because I'm very, very keen to try and not fall too far behind. So we'll be grabbing our next military tech very, very soon. August of 74, so less than a year to go. We'll grab our next military tech. And then we'll probably want the next admin tech as well. Providing they don't get too far ahead. They're still on 29. So we might have a chance of doing something. Like I said, a little bit worried about my ships. Creek have got some down there as well. Now, we don't have any heavies. They're mainly lights. But, of course, Great Britain do get a lot of benefits to their ships. So, let's go ahead and start getting some of our men over here so that we're actually in a position to go in and attack the 13 colonies. I'm also concerned, of course, about Newfoundland, because they do have some men up here. So this is going to be a little bit ballsy, but we'll try it. We've got to wait for the right moment though. We can't just dive in and attempt to do it. Score comparison, we are now at 22 and going relatively strong. The chances of us actually getting another 200 and something points by the end of the game, I think there are just enough months left for us to do it. Well, yeah, there should be. So, you know, we might get some decent score. I don't know. We'll definitely have to keep our eye on things and see how it goes. But what's important, what we really want, is England getting involved, or Great Britain getting involved in a war with somebody else. That would make life a lot easier for us. And what would make it even easier than that is Russia getting involved in a war with somebody else. Because if we can do this without Russia getting in, then things could work out well for us. Unfortunately, at the moment, Russia would almost certainly come to their aid. They do have some war exhaustion, apparently. It's a defensive war. There is our military tech. That probably won't affect our score because we're still 16th, which is fine. We're only like a couple of years ahead of time with that, so we are still sort of dropping behind, which is slightly problematic. Again, idea groups isn't something that I necessarily want to take. But we'll wait for our opportunity and hopefully we will find one to strike. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying EU4 as the Iroquois. I'll see you on the next video, and until then, goodbye for now.